Morning. Well, back in the old barn, and thought I'd do something different today. A bit fed up of welding, but I'm just tidying up the back end. I'm gonna get ready to wax it oil. So what I'm doing in this video is changing the front leaf springs. This one on the driver's side is a bit saggy, let's say. She sits just over, well, about ½ inch lower this side than the other side, but when someone gets in it, i.e. me, is noticeably different. It drops like hell, and when you're sort of looking at it from the front, you can see it's down, and this spring lay flat where the passenger side spring doesn't. She's jacked up at the moment. Always use axle stands if you do this on the floor. For God's sake, you don't want this lot coming down on you. I actually tested my welding skills out there. To the right, no chassis cracking, crimping or nothing, do you know what I mean? So she's held out to my misbelief, but all good. Right, so I've had this side undone before. As you can see in there, I have put some spaces in there. It's been lifted just over, literally just over ½ inch on this side. So this side is that noticeably low. It's probably an inch lower, all been hauled. So I thought it's time to do it. What I did, I marked the centre of the wheel up to the bottom, there's a line there. What this side is measuring at the moment, this is 14¼ if I can read my own shitty writing. And again, well, not from the centre of the wheel, I'll show you where I measured it from. Yeah, I measured it from this lip here, the highest as that'll go, to there's a line there, that's 14¾ you see that little straight line after the quarter. Well, that's how it's going to be. So I thought I'd just do it to see how noticeable the difference was. There you go, resting on my chassis this side. I'm happy, I'm relieved it's not crushed and gone flat and fucked it. So, excuse my French, this is my frigging diesel link I've now developed. Another little job, all never ends. So, first job is going to be to do, well, all I've got to do is undo 2 shackles, bolts here, same again, that side there, there's 4 either side there on the old U-bolts, and 4 that side. There's obviously the 2 big ones at the front. I'm hoping it's not going to be too much of a ball ache job. I've got brand new springs for it. I purchased them from Poland. They were cheaper to get them from Poland, and the turnaround time was phenomenal. I bought them, and I believe that was just over £210, and that was with customs tax and VAT. Delivered. I ordered them on the Wednesday, and I was in Norwich on the Saturday and delivered to me on the Monday. So if I'd have ordered them early in the week, I'd have had them in the same week. Amazing turnaround. I know there's a lot of negative feedback with UPS, but UPS did well to get them from there to here in this amazing time. If I would have done them in England, I'd have gone to Jones's Springs. They don't do them no more. They retemper them, which is going to be about £200, plus postage. Obviously you've got to get them to them. I'm 160 miles away each way, so that's going to be another £20–30 each way to post. And I would need new bushes, which was about £50 for the bushes, so that is what, 260, about 280 quid. But the new springs I got come with bushes, so it's a no-win really. And they said the turnaround time would be about 7 to 10 days to do it. So we're going to talk about it's going to be 2 weeks before I get the springs back, and I can't have it sitting on this ramp then. So no win really. Do you know what I mean? That was Transit part, I think it's called, in Poland. Phenomenal service. I sent them a few messages. That was for eBay, so obviously protected. Sent them a few messages. That was really helpful. Obviously English wasn't that great, but you can translate it enough to know what they're saying. And I kept the words, fast postage done. So right, instead of me waffling on, I'm going to make a start. So I'm just going to crack these nuts here and here. Back in a minute. I'll do one side and I'll on video, and I'll do the other side off video sort of thing. So I'm now undoing the 2 rear shackles. These are a 19mm nut. So shit, get on it. Come on, done right. Get that out of there. It's down here, so I might film all this shit when I'm on camera like this, because I ain't got a proper one. So right, here it goes. Next one. These impact guns do make your life a lot easier. Right, so them 2 are done. I'm not going to take that off yet because I've got a bit of weight onto the axle. So yeah, I'm going to get me, what I'm going to do next, I've got to do the 4 shackle bolts there, or the U-bolts there, and there's 2 in front, so I shall get them right in there, a 19mm as well. No, they're smaller, they're probably 17. So now, in fact, I'm going to change my mind as I usually do. I'm going to go for the big boys at the front. That's what I'm going to do next. Them bad boys, foul size they are. So I shall let you know what size they are in a moment. Right, found the size. It's 1 1/16 nut. Obviously it's still a Mk1 Transit wheel nut on there, or spring bolt on there, which converts to about 27mm. Obviously, if you realise, you probably will be saying this is a Mark II axle on here. That was changed years ago from the old drum brake, so handy old thing, does stop well. So but yeah, the Mark II springs on here. So right, now I'm going to undo this, get that on there. Put this on there. I'll get that whole thing down one day, that on Mark II Cortina. I'll give you a walk around that one day. You can make around with a forklift, so we put it up there. She's coming undone, that's yes. There we go. That's that bad boy off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the axle stands back on the axle. Take some weight on them, then I'm going to undo, so I've already undone that side, then I'm going to undo the U-bolts next, so I should be back when I've done that. Right, here we go. Right, so put a bit of WD on them. The socket I've got on here to fit is an 18, I presume it's 11/16s, but the 17 won't go on, but that's what that's one. Guess you got some warmth on that, right? Right, here we go. Next 2. One's on the back. Let's get the torch so you can see. There we go. As you can see, there's not a lot of thread left on them because I had to put a spacer in there to lift it up a little bit. Right, you go. Come on, done right. Come on, done. So, right, as far as I've got now is this. So what I'm going to do is now is get a torch first thing, is I'm going to jack it back up on the axle to get the axle stands down. I'm going to drop the beam and my jack, and then remove the U-bolts, and then hopefully I'll be able to tap the shackle off the back and tap the bolt out the front, and spring is off. So I should be back when I've done this bit. Right, so the weight of the van is on there and on there up there. Well, the weight of the axle, well, it's kind of on the shock absorbers, but it's just taken up on the jack. So all I've got to do is take this off here, like that. Got that bit of plastic thing there. Try and watch my fingers while I do this. See if I can get that a little bit lower. Yeah. There's a wedge in there for the axle tilt. And these are the spaces I put in. These two here. That, as you can see, that's one of mine. Right, again, there's one of mine. I believe that is originally meant to be in there, I presume. The other side's got one, so I'm gathering it is. And then you've got the axle tilt on there, which doesn't seem to want to. Yes, it does. Yep, it doesn't want to come off. So that goes there like that. So what else is that in there? Oh yeah, I remember putting that nut in there now. I did. Yeah, I remember putting a nut in there. Bolt head, I should say. So that stopped the axle wedge or the axle tilt from sliding, and then that pin went back in through them all. Yeah, surprisingly remember eventually. That looks a bit too deep for that, but it must be about right. Yeah, that is. So the axle, tilt the axle goes points forwards. So right, that is that part off. So the axle is totally away from that now. Give this a little tap with the old copper hammer, which has come out, which is good. Getting that off this side here. Oh, she's gone. She nearly shot that outside. So that's pretty good. Just going to put that axle just up to the spring to take the weight of the spring. I might have to do two hands in a minute, so I might have to put this film down, video camera down, phone, shoot, whatever it is. Just dive under there. Quickly take the old light on me. So technically, the outer shackle should come off. Oh shit, which it has done. Sorry, that wasn't very good filming. That bush in there is shit. I'll try and get this one so you can see a bit better on this one. There you go. There you go. That's the outer shackle off. Give that. I'm not going to try and take that right out because I can knock the spring over, I think. Right. Get this side the same. So you can see. I might change the pin on that one to make this easier. I'm going to get a punch or a drift, I should say. Just there. Can't wait to get back on this. Just need to do a couple of jobs on this first before getting on that. Hopefully this will be running soon. So, bit of a spaghetti junction in there with the wiring at the moment. Right, where's it looking up here? Ah, the torch is right back there now. Yes, boy. Out there. I don't know if I'm going to be lucky with the other side doing it like that. Yep, I can. put this camera down and make it easier. I get the torch. See what I'm doing. Right, I'm just going to put the camera down a second while I just get that bolt out there. As you heard that connect. Right, so technically the spring is loose. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to need two hands here to get this spring off, obviously. So I shall be back in a moment when I've got the springs off. Right, have to say, I've just unpackaged the package. Get my words out, you know. Unpackaged the parcel they come in. As you can see, it's all fresh. This is obviously the company that does the springs. They do have a part number on there. They came with the front bushings, which is nice. The rear bushings are all there. Seem quite quality. With a metal insert inside them. Yeah, seem quite quality so far. Rubbers all fit in there nicely. They're the same width, they're the same dimensions. I've just measured them. So yeah, looking good so far. Anything I notice is the dowel where the spring is. This is a little bit shorter. Maybe that other bit I've got in there, that nearly quarter-inch bit I've got in there, maybe that shouldn't be with it really. It's original. So I'll probably fit it without that. Oh, but then I'll just have to work out what the height difference on the, well, I think it's about 1/8 of an inch difference, obviously off the height of the van. I will, so I'll take that into calculations when I'm fitting them and measuring it out. So yeah, right, I'm gonna get these bushes put in. Yeah, Transit Centre was who I bought them off. So there you go. That's their part number in there, whatever, see. So yeah, very good. Right, back soon. Right, here's the old springs that I removed. Should have shown you before showing you the new ones. There's not a lot of noticeable in height, but obviously there wasn't flatness. Obviously it's retaining its shape when it's unloaded, but not unloaded obviously. The bushes were absolutely toast. They were, as you can see, all knackered, well gone past the sell by date. So yeah, what I was explaining on that video just before this, clip before this, is these bits here, these dowels, they are a bit longer on this. I don't know why, so maybe it shouldn't have had them bits put in there. Maybe someone's put them in, I don't know, but we'll see how it goes when I'm fitting them. Right, I have encountered a problem. The front spring bushes, bolt holes, ideal, fit perfectly, but the back ones do not. Let me get a torch. I'll charge it a minute. No, they're not, it should be. Right. So this is what I found the problem. Fucking hell, what's that? Extension lead. Right, obviously these here, I really now realise why them bushes have gone on the rear of my springs, because they've had the metal sleeves removed from out of them. And this is obviously because the Mark II spring uses M12 bolts and the Transit Mark 1 uses, let's have a look what they'd be. They would be 15mm. Yeah, so yeah, that's the difference in them. But because obviously I want to get this on the road, and if you buy yeah, so these are obviously the Mark 1 spring shackles, and obviously they won't go in there. So what I am going to do is I've done it, well, that's right, they're obviously designed to run on M12, so I've got some high tensile steel bolts, and what I have done is they've got to be about 110mm long. There we go. Because I like to fix things, or bodge things as we call it. So yeah, the M12s. So what I'm going to do is, obviously these are too long, and there's not enough bush to do them. I've knocked out this on the splines, and I'm going to weld one of these in there like so, and I'm going to do it so it is, my bench is shit on again, 115, 120. This is what I'm going to do. So yep, wish me luck. I'll be back soon when it's done. There we go, I've welded it. I only feel confident if you do feel confident in your welding, do you know what I mean? I'm going to dress that down a little bit on that side, but you can see it's well hot weld. Penetration is really good on that. So yeah, this isn't the right way to do it probably, so don't say I'm telling you guys to do this, but this is just how I did it. But like you did, if you did do something like this, only do it if you feel confident in what you do and know your abilities, and the welder can actually manage this, do you know what I mean? So right, I'm now going to give that a bit of clean and then get it put back onto the Transit. Right, I didn't record it all, I know, bad me, but it's all back together. I didn't put the spacers back in there, the original ones, either side, because the reason being it sits like on bloody stilts almost. It's all back and I've got space between my bump stops, which I hardly had anything before. It sits over here higher now, sits about 2.5 inches higher either side. I did lay the springs next to the original ones before I put them on, obviously, because just make sure they was right, and it was. It does look like the wheels sit forward, but there's still a bit of bottom of the wing missing there, which will centre that up nicely, and quite relieved really is that it sits level now, which it never did before, so which is a bonus. So I haven't took it up the road yet. I would imagine that that will settle in, probably drop a little bit more once I've been up the road. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Job done. My bodges, I mean modifications, works well. So I'll call that end of the video. Thanks for watching. Hope you like it. Keep following me if you do. Keep commenting. Thank you very much.